Now that Royal Caribbean is completely done with me and I'm still not receiving any offers for discounted or free cruises after I really bombed out in the casino on the Freedom of the Seas, I have had the chance to move on to the Princess Cruise Line Casino. I just returned from a 7 night cruise on the Enchanted Princess and I had a fantastic time. Really enjoyed my time aboard and really enjoyed playing in the casino. So let's talk about 10 things that I loved about the casino and the casino program, as well as 10 things that I hated. So let's get right to my list because I have a list. Some of the things that I really loved is I loved using the medallion and the ticketless system. So you just take your little medallion and you tap that to the princess logo and it lights up green to let you know that you have logged in. Now just make sure that when you are finished with the machine that you also hit the red button to log yourself out of the machine. But no more worrying about carrying a ticket around with you. No more worrying about it getting lost. No more worrying about it getting stolen, misplaced, or damaged because I tend to lose things. So it was really fabulous just having the ticketless system and not having to worry about carrying a ticket around with you or having multiple from multiple different machines. All of your winnings just went right onto your account all in one place. So the second thing that I really loved was that you could charge back to your room for 0 fee. That's right, you heard me, 0 fee. But remember, charging back to your room can be dangerous because you're not always keeping track of how much money you have charged to your room unless you're checking it regularly. But it was really nice that they did have the ability to do that right from your machine. And then you could just pay that on disembarkation when you paid your total account. The third thing that I loved was the affordability of the program. Now, the machines that I played were just standard slot machines, and they were $2 per point. Now, I knew that I needed 3,000 points to earn my fancy, schmancy, see you soon certificate. So I got a 3,000 points and I managed to get a free interior cabin. So all in all, I ended up running $6,000 through the machines. Now that is what's called coin in, which means that not only the money out of my pocket, but all of my winnings. Now, if you watched my previous video, you'll find out that the cruise line actually paid me to earn that certificate. So make sure you check out that video. It will be linked in the description and at the end of this video. And if you think about it, if you compare this to Royal Caribbean, Celebrity, or Virgin Voyages, those programs are all $5 a point. Now you would think that, oh, well, you can get cruises from them for less points. Well, on Royal Caribbean, I did find that you could get an interior cabin for 1,500 points, but that still means you have to run $7,500 of coin in through the machine. So it is $1,500 more expensive. Now, Virgin Voyages, they're the most expensive. They're still $5 per point, but they take 3,500 points to get a free interior cabin. So that would cost you 17,500 coin in to get that certificate. So affordability is definitely a winner for the Princess Casino program. So the fourth thing that I loved was the point schedule. To know what you needed to earn to get your rewards was posted everywhere. It was on a giant TV display right when you walked in either side of the casino. It was sitting on the casino host desk, and it is available on Princess's website. So no need to wait to look at it until you get on board. It is standardized across the fleet. So I will put up here on the screen for you the point schedule for a 7-night cruise. We'll talk about other night cruises later in this video. The fifth thing that I really loved about the Princess Casino and the program was that the See You Soon offers are valid for sailings up to 16 nights. So no more of this just 3-night, 4-night, or 5-night cruises. You can get 7-night, 8-night, all the way up to 16-night sailings. Now, I did notice that they weren't necessarily available in Asia or Australia, but there was a huge amount of cruises to choose from. Now, the sixth thing I love about the program was that you didn't have to put a deposit on another cruise in order to get your free interior cabin. Now, there are some cruise lines that do have that on their Rack Up the Rewards flyer. I'm not going to name names, but in order to get your cabin, you'd have to put money on another future cruise. Now, Princess doesn't do that. Now, they did require a $200 deposit from me. that they did turn into an onboard credit. So on my next sailing that I booked with the See You Soon offer, I already have paid my port fees and taxes and then an additional $200 that I'll get to use for anything that I charge to my account when I get on board. And I'll probably use it in the casino. Now, don't use it to buy free play like they tell you to. Just charge back to your room for free and then use that $200 to cover your casino spend. Number 7, invitational cruise events. Now, somehow I managed to not film the video for this, but don't worry, I do it again for the things I don't like about the cruise casino. But let's talk about the invitational offers. Even though with my low roller budget, it's highly unlikely I would ever get invited to one of these events, but I do really like that the program has them available for those who really enjoy playing in the casino and has quite a few dollars to spend. But how many points you need to qualify for these events or what kind of casino play you need to be putting in, no one really knows. It's one of the secrets that they keep, and we're going to talk about that in the things I don't like about the Princess Casino program. Now, the 8th thing on this list is actually a really important thing. So I guess I should have let you know that these aren't in any order of importance. But the 8th thing that I really loved about the Princess Casino was the chairs. The chairs were super comfortable. They were short person friendly. They were plus size friendly and also wheelchair friendly because they could easily be moved out of the way for you to access a machine. So they weren't nailed down to the floor. They were easily movable. And that's really important. If you're going to sit for hours in a casino, you really need to have comfortable seating. Now, I'd have to say of the 2 other casinos that I played, Royal Caribbeans were just okay. They were a little bit too tall for me and I kept slipping out and they really didn't have enough room for my butt. But the Virgin Voyages, I just want to yeet those stools right off the ship. They were awful. Every time I moved a little bit, I would just slide right off the stool and it would raise up because they're auto pneumatic, meaning that they go up and down based on the person sitting on them. So I don't understand why everything on Virgin was so uncomfortable to sit on because I loved my cruise on Virgin. I loved the cruise line and I really enjoyed my time in the casino, but it was so god awful to sit in there and play. So the 9th thing that I loved about Princess Casino was that they did offer free drinks in the casino if you got 1,500 points. Now, for me, that really didn't make that much of a difference because I already had the Princess Plus package and I don't drink alcohol. And even if I did, like if I had the Princess Plus, that kind of makes it null and void. So yes, that is a good thing for people who don't have the Princess Plus or the Princess Premier package. And the 10th thing that I really loved about the Princess Casino and is super important to me as somebody who has severe allergies is that that casino that I was on in the Enchanted Princess was completely smoke-free. So there was no smoking in that casino. There was a separate smoking casino right next door, and it was actually connected, but it did have heavy doors on 3 different areas that you could get in, and so it did keep it separated. So now that I have chatted on about all the things that I loved about the Princess Casino, especially me walking away with the cruise with money in my pocket, let's talk about 10 things that I hated or just really disliked about the Princess Casino. I will have to say the ticket list system. So that's the first item on this list. And while I really love the ticket list system, I almost forgot to cash out. But I don't know because I've never experienced this before, if that would have been a problem if I would have forgotten to go to the cashier and actually get my money. So I don't know if they just automatically apply your cruise credits to your onboard account, or say if I walked away and had $500 on my account, like, and I didn't have any charges, like what do they do with it? Do they refund it to a credit card? But I didn't pay for it by a credit card. So I'm a little unclear on that. So just be mindful with the ticketless system. Don't have a squirrel ADHD moment like I did and almost walk away without getting your money. Now, the second thing that I had issue with was myself and several other players did have some technical issues with games. Now, I did witness someone trying to play a Buffalo game and it got stuck on an $11 bet and just wouldn't come on. Luckily, she didn't actually play the $11 bet, but it just, no matter what we did, it wouldn't come off. We did call an attendant. and within moments they were able to get it up and running. But there were several other machines that did glitch out. Now, the ones that I like to play, the Ultimate Fire Link Triple Nova, two of the machines had buttons that stuck. One, the buttons were not working at all, and you had to use the touch screen to play. So the third thing that I didn't like about the Princess Casino was there was a little bit of smoke bleed over in one section of the casino. Now, I'm not really sure why there was a door where it was. And honestly, there weren't that many people coming in and out of it, but I was really confused as to why there was so much of a little bit smoky smell in one particular area of the casino. Now, I did try and play a few games in the area, but they weren't to my liking, so I did move on, and then I didn't have any issues for the rest of the cruise. So that leads me right into number 4. And this is going to be a big gripe for a lot of people, that there is no bar in the non-smoking casino. I guess they assume that people who don't smoke aren't wanting to drink. I don't know. I don't get it. But I think there's kind of two things at play here. There is waiter service, but it takes them an eternity to get you anything. And there's usually very few, maybe one, if you're lucky, two people that are perusing the floor. Now, I think the concern here is that if you have the Princess Plus or Princess Premier, they probably don't get any gratuities on the beverages that they're providing for you. And for someone like myself who only drinks bottled water, most of the time I never got the bottled water when I ordered it. It would only happen if someone else was with me and they were ordering an alcoholic beverage. That was the only time that I got my beverage. So I think that's a really big annoyance is, oh, well, you don't provide a bar that people can go get their own beverages, but then you're not going to provide good waiter service. And is that really like cost-cutting measure because you're really trying not to give out as many free drinks? I don't know. And I think for a solo cruiser, that really kind of sucks because when I wanted water, I either needed to make sure that I brought it with me or I had to go downstairs to the International Cafe to get it. But, that could take 15, 20 minutes in line because that is so understaffed that obviously I'm going to lose my seat. Now, that does lead me right into number 5, which is that 1,500 point perk of getting free drinks. They don't advertise that at all. Like, I wouldn't have known that if I had not gone up to the desk and asked about it. Now, also, one of the bad things with that too was that I don't drink alcohol. So I asked them, well, are there any other perk that they could provide me instead of the alcoholic beverages? Like, could they give me a specialty dining, a discount on a spa service or anything like that? And they said, nope. The only thing we offer is the free drinks in the casino once you've hit your 1,500 points. Now, if you don't see it automatically appear on your account, just make sure that after you've earned your 1,500 points and you log out of your machine, then just go up to the cashier desk and have them add that to your account. And number 6, which kind of relates, is that there were no other onboard perks if you earned a lot of points. So I got 3,000 points and I figured, what would it hurt to go up to the cashier desk and ask them if they had any discounts or anything available for me because I earned 3,000 points. They said, nope, no free play, no specialty dining, no discounts on anything. And then I did have someone else in my group who had 18,000 points and she asked them and they said the same thing, which I think is pretty disappointing. I don't understand why they don't reward people for gambling in the casino while they're on the cruise, other than the free drinks. But again, the bad thing is most of the people that go on Princess Cruises is purchasing the Princess Plus package, which makes the free drinks kind of like null and void. So you're basically giving us a perk and not really giving us a perk, if you know what I mean. Seriously, how could I miss number 7 twice? Here's another big negative about the Princess Casino is that they have an early cutoff for the points accumulation towards the rewards certificate, towards that free interior cabin or any other cabin. So if you are sailing and you are departing the ship on Saturday, the points cutoff is at 11:59 on a Thursday. So it is the night before the last full day of the cruise that they cut off the points accumulation. So the 8th item on my do not like list is that they don't publicize their casino tier levels. They don't have status levels like you see on Royal Caribbean, on Celebrity Cruise Line, and Virgin Voyages. where they have like the different tiers for each of the different level of points that you earn, and then you get set benefits with each of those things, which are separate from your loyalty status for the number of nights you sail, right? So there's the loyalty status for your sailings, and then the casino rewards, loyalty, tier points, all of those things for the points that you earn while you're playing on board the cruises. So Princess does not publicize that. So that's like one of their really big secrets. So I kind of don't like that they really keep a lot of their stuff secretive about the program. So other than knowing the points that you need to earn rewards while you're on the cruise, nothing else is really publicized about the Princess Casino program. So the ninth item that I really, really didn't like, I can kind of see their point to it, but it is very annoying. But there are different point levels for the entry level interior cabin reward on 7-night cruises versus 8 to 10 night. And then you have 11 to 16 night is 1 point level, and then 17 night and above. So they have 4 different point levels. I'll put those up on the screen so you can see the difference. And they do really exponentially get higher as you go. Now, remember, you need to multiply those amounts by 2 to get the dollars that you're going to need to run through a standard slot machine. So you can see that the higher the night sailing, or they call it day, the higher day sailing that you're on, the ridiculously more points that you're going to need to get an interior cabin. You know, obviously they're thinking, oh, well, you've got time to play in the casino and you're going to be able to earn those points. But to me, it's like, I don't think that's fair that just because I'm on an 8-night cruise that now I have to earn 2,000 more points to get the same cabin, to get the same reward as I would if I was on a 7-night sailing. So I'm really glad that my first time in the casino trying for this reward that I was on a 7-night sailing, because I don't know that I would have had the bankroll or the luck that I did in the casino to be able to get the 5,000 points, because that's $10,000 coin in, and I've never managed to run that much money through a machine before. I think on Virgin I got to a little over 8,000 coin in. And that was tough for somebody who likes to save money and pinch a little penny and not want to put things out of their pocket. It is kind of hard to let go of my money to put it in the slot machine. And for the 10th and final item, this is a big gripe for a lot of people who use the casino program with Princess, or the rewards program with Princess, is that the limited booking window that you get, there's no visibility into the sailings that you have to choose from, and you usually have a very limited amount of time to use the cruise that you get on your See You Soon offer. Now, my offer, when I got it, it did actually say that I had 55 days to book my cruise. But one, it didn't give me a way to look up the cruises that were available. It didn't give me a website to go to do anything. I did have to call a phone number. Now, my offer did say 55 days. Their website actually says 30 days. So just be mindful that if you get one of these certificates, that you go by the fine print on your certificate and don't listen to anybody else or even the website, apparently, as to what the rules are. You need to pay attention to your certificate. Now, I had 6 months to sail from my disembarkation date. I would say that I actually planned ahead and I made sure that I didn't have something booked within the time frame that I would be able to take a cruise with this offer if I did receive it. So I was really holding out on doing some other things that I might have coming up on the pipeline, so that way I could make sure that I could be available to use my benefit. Now, I know there are quite a few people in my group that got the offer and they just didn't have availability in their schedule, which really, really sucks. But I'm really happy that I got my reward, and I think I'll thoroughly enjoy my cruise coming up on the Majestic Princess. Now, as far as how I determined like what cruise I could take, I had a very limited window of when I could sail. So I just looked at all the cruises that Princess had to offer for that day and picked a couple of them that worked best for me. And I was able to get my first choice. So I think that's really the way you got to play it, is just pick out your first choice or second choice, ones that you really, really want to get. And don't be afraid to pick up to a 16-night cruise, right? This program goes up to 16-night cruises. So don't be afraid to pick that 11-night, that 12-night, 14-night cruise if that is what you really want. But like I said, I thoroughly enjoyed my time aboard the Enchanted Princess, and I really enjoyed the Princess Casino. Now, there were some really great things about the program, some things that I didn't really love, but all in all, I would highly recommend that you give it a try. It is no longer your dad's cruise line. I was really surprised that getting on board that they had updated their music and activities to be more within my age range, but I was really worried that it was going to be my grandma's cruise or my dad's cruise because it has been 20 years since I'd been on board Princess, and I thought it was a little bit older for me back in uh, my 30s, so 20 years ago. But I was thoroughly impressed with the ship. I really loved the staff, loved my room, loved everything about the medallion. Just had a really fabulous time. But be on the lookout for some upcoming videos. I really want to talk about the cruise port of Santorini because honestly, I have a really strong opinions on that, and I kind of regret actually just going off the ship that day. So be on the lookout for that upcoming video, as well as don't forget to check out my live stream. I'm trying to go live every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern time. So be on the lookout for notifications for if you see Amy K live in Loose in her apartment. So I want to thank you so much for joining me today while I ramble on about the Enchanted Princess and everything to do with the casino program. If you have any questions for me, or hey, if you want to share your experience, how many points did you get? Did you get a certificate? And did you get the cruise that you wanted? What's the most fabulous cruise anybody has gotten with a see you soon offer? I would love, love, love to hear about it. So thank you again for joining me. And if you seek Amy K, maybe someday in the future, oh yes, you will, on my see you soon offer, you will find me on a cruise. Have a fabulous day. Happy cruising, and I hope to see you out there on the high seas.
If you seek Amy K, find her on a cruise. Freedom is calling, she's already there. Yeah, if you seek Amy K, find her on a cruise. Dancing on